Good afternoon, good evening, morning, whenever you're watching this video. I'm Ryan, setthepacetriathlon.com, and we're going to do some quick tips talking about training around your schedule. I had a lot of questions. I do this for my athletes and in training plans if I make a personalized plan for somebody. But if you're out there and you bought a plan off the shelf from Training Peaks, hopefully from me, maybe not. But how do you shuffle around your workouts and everything to make sure that it kind of fits within your life, that you can actually accomplish this plan, whether it be your first 70.3 or your 12th Ironman race, you want to get a PR? How do you get that training to fit around your life? So hopefully these tips will help you out. If not, always put questions in the comments. I'll get back to you if I can. Number one, get organized. Get a planner. I live and die by my planners. Whenever I got something going on, I always know in advance, always plan out Sunday. I sit there and I plan out the next week. My training plan, I even try to get to like Thursday if I need to print out workouts, download workouts, or anything like that. My planner keeps my life, and you can't see it behind, but I've got a monitor that just has my calendar up, so I know what's going on at all times. With me, I've got working for you guys. I've got working for other people. I've got 3 kids, and I got my wife's schedule going on, and sometimes she's out of the house from 7 o'clock in the morning till 6 o'clock at night, and I'm doing other stuff too, and my kids got stuff going on. And if I don't know what all is going on, and I try to schedule something and think there's time for a workout, but I miss something, then it's going to cause a problem. So get a planner, get organized. So stay on top of that. Use a calendar app like Outlook. Like I said, I've got that on one of my screens right now. I've got one for my personal and one for work, and I've got 2 separate screens to show both of those. So just to make sure I don't overbook myself or plan too much on a day where I'm going to be out and about doing something or on meetings or something like that most of the day. So use some sort of electronic device as well as backup, because if something happens with my planner, at least I've got that where I'm just like, oh my gosh, I lost everything. But I make sure my calendar's got the big chunk things that have to happen in life, and I put down my planner the week ahead. Number 3, add critical important activities mapped out over your entire training cycle. So if your kid's graduating from 8th grade from high school or something like that, your kid's going to prom or homecoming or something like that, or your kids have their sporting events on the weekends or during the week or anything like that. Your wife has a work party or a work trip or something like that on a weekend, or she works weird shift schedules, or you work weird shift schedules. If you know this stuff in advance, map it out over your entire plan. Don't wait till the last minute. Don't have a bunch of papers lying around. Be like, oh yeah, I better put that on the calendar. Do that as soon as you know about it, especially even if it's like 6 months out. If your Ironman is 7 months out, you don't want to surprise that 6 month where you're really supposed to be doing the work. And you come in and be like, oh crap, I totally forgot about that until this week, and I put it on my calendar, and that totally goes my workout. So anything you know about, put it on way in advance. Number 4, add in the maybes. So maybe something's going to happen. Maybe it's not. Maybe you're going to sign up for an event. Maybe you're not. Just put it in the calendar, and I always put a note beside there, not for sure. We'll check back later or something like that. So just so when you're planning, you're looking ahead, be like, oh yeah, that's going on, or might not happen. So we'll see about that. So add the maybes. Find your training plan, paper or online. So whatever you're going to do, whether you're going to be using paper and pencil, or you found a training plan and Training Peaks or something like that, you need to find something concrete for a plan that you're going to do, whether it's 6 months, 12 months, 12 weeks, whatever you're going to do. Find a plan for that time period so you know what workouts you need to be doing and when. Because basically, if you don't have a training plan, it's going to be hard to kind of manage that. Number 6, map out the big training days versus your life schedule. So you've got your schedule, everything you know about is going to happen within your training plan, and then you need to map it out over that to make sure you don't have a 100-mile ride the weekend you're going to be out of town going to somebody's volleyball tournament and God knows where. It's going to be hard to get a 100-mile ride if you're out of town. I mean, you could try to do that, but I would highly recommend against it. So keep that in mind. Get creative. There may be some times where maybe you take Friday off because Saturday and Sunday are booked. You take Friday off of work. And if you've planned it out, you know in advance. You take that scheduled vacation day. Take that day, do a bike ride, get everything done. Kids are at school, knock it out, get everything done. Not a problem. So the weekend hits, you're ready to do whatever you need to. So be creative. You could move things around to like Mondays and Fridays, or if it works out to do your big stuff in the middle of the week or something like that, just make sure that you're consistent with that and you keep playing on it. So be creative. Number 8, a lot of athletes are pinned in with pool time. So if you know that your pool is going to be a little bit picky and And, they keep changing hours and stuff. I know mine change hours whenever the kids are out of school. So they do school program, or they do day programming during the summer. I know my pool is kind of out of use at certain time periods. So then I got to switch to early morning swims, or else it's not going to happen. So make sure that you're aware of things that are pinned in, stuff like the pool, where you don't have a pool. Most of us don't have an endless pool in our house. If you do, then it's not a problem. You can swim wherever you want. But if you kind of trapped in, that's why I got that picture of the pool, because if you're kind of locked into when the pool hours are open, that's kind of your big chunks. Okay, swim, 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 because these are the only days I can actually make the pool swimming time. So keep that in mind. Number 9, communication will be key. So if you see in a weekend you're going to do a 100-mile bike ride, but you get to that weekend and your wife had no idea what you're going to be doing, and she's playing some adventure with friends or something like that, or some date night, you don't want to hose it by being like, well, actually, I'm going to be gone for 6 hours. So the time that I was going to be home helping you with the kids or something like that, or helping clean the house or whatever for the big party, I'm actually not going to be here because I'm going to be on a bike ride. That's not going to work out well. So make sure you're communicating when those big rides are going to happen, because it's going to impact the schedule, whether just because you're tired or whatever, it's going to have an impact. So make sure you're communicating. Number 10, be real. If you're looking at your plan and you're like, this 100-mile ride, there's no way to really fit this in, then be real with yourself and say, okay, it's not going to happen. Can I break it up into 250s? Can I break it up to a 75 and 25 or something like that? Be real with yourself on what you can and cannot do. Number 11, some days you may have a bike and run and not meant as a brick, but made as a brick. So a lot of my workouts and plans and athletes have stuff going on, 2 workouts in one day. So maybe they do a morning one and they do a lunch one. Or maybe it just works out. It's like, I'm not going to be able to do this over lunch. So you get up early in the morning, you do your ride, your run, make it a brick. You cut out a cool down and a warm up, and you're able to do it in condensed amount of time, maybe an hour and a half instead of 2 hours of separate workouts. There's no changing clothes 2 times, taking showers, all that kind of stuff. So that's, again, goes back to being creative. So if there's a situation where you have 2 workouts in one day and it's a ride and a run or something like that, make it into a brick workout if it makes sense, and you can work it out that way. Number 12, look where you spend your time. So this is kind of a time analysis and seeing where you spend all your time. People always come to me like, oh man, I am so swamped. I got no time to do anything. But if you're spending an hour and a half sitting there watching TV, or 2 hours watching sporting events, or 3 hours watching Chiefs games, you do nothing else during that time, there's time. I mean, let's be honest. You could, if this was a big enough goal on your radar, you could make it happen if you needed to. So just be mindful of paying attention where you spend your time and make sure that you get your time in the right spots. Again, hopefully these tips help you out. Ryan at thebasetriathlon.com. Give it a like on Facebook, give it a like on YouTube, subscribe, bell notifications, all that kind of fun stuff. If you have any questions, put in the comments. I'll get back to you later.